back. In this video, I'm solving Leetcode problem 334, increasing triplet subsequence. Okay, given an integer array nums, return true if there exists a triplet of indices ijk such that ijk, okay. So we need to find a triplet that, so nums of I is less than nums of j is less than nums of k. Okay, there's a follow-up. Can we implement it in off and time and off on space? But first let's make off and time and off and space solution. So the idea is similar to yesterday's. Yesterday's I forgot. It's product of array except self. So essentially we find the minimum. We go through the array and find the minimum from the position to the left in first pass, and in second pass we go from the back of the array, from the end of the array to the beginning of the array, and search, and we store like current maximum to the right and check if current element is in between those two. So let's go. First we get the length. We can do it like this, so nums of 0. We'll initialize this one. And let's make that pass. So we can skip the first element. So we're going from 1 to length. And check if ML is greater than nums of I. And if so, or yeah, we don't need to do it even like this. Let's keep it shorter. So ML is equal to mean between ML and nums of I. And we update our mean left. Okay, and now let's do the pass from the end. So we'll also have like max right, which will be equal to nums minus 1. So since we already visited the last one, we start from length minus 2, so till 0 and without 0, and we update our MR, so max MR and nums of I, but we actually do this, let's do it like this later. First we check if nums, well, not nums, but mean left of I is less than nums of I is less than MR, return true, and update and if not, we update our MR, and if we haven't found the triplet, we return false. Okay, let's run this. And it works. So time and space complexity of this one. So it's O of n. We have two passes through the array, and space complexity is again O of n, because we store min left. And now let's do the follow-up. So the follow-up is, let's code this up in O of 1 space complexity. And for this, we'll need to change. So the idea behind this solution is that we need to like separate the space in like 3 possible spaces, let's say, and for that we need 2 thresholds. So if we find first threshold, second threshold, and if the next element is greater than that second threshold, we just return true because we found the triplet. So let me code it up, maybe it will make more sense. So let's call it or T1 and T2, and they will be equal to float infinity. So this means we first need to set them up. And what do we do? So for n in nums, if T1 is greater, or we can also equal. I think even equal is not required. Yeah, if T1 is greater, or let's do it like this: if n is less than T1, then we update T1. Else if n is less than T2, we update T2 with n. And if n is so greater than T1, okay, we need to do also equal here. Yeah, because we would have a wrong solution. So it has to be equal, because if we had like 1 to 2, then we would, like, when I write the rest of this, we would return true, but that's not the case. We need 3 numbers that are like strictly greater. So return true, and if we haven't found it, return false. So it's a bit hard to come up with by this one, but when you think about it, it's intuitive in a sense. So first we have our threshold 1 set up, then we set up the threshold 2, and even maybe those threshold won't be like in the order. So maybe T1 will be after T2, but if T1 and T2 are set up and the number n is greater than both of them, then we surely found our triplet. So this T1 will sometimes like go after T2 if you look by index, but if T2 is set up, so it's not infinity, then there was some T1 left of T2 that was less than T2. So yeah, I hope it makes sense. And so for the time and space complexity, so time is often because we do the pass through nums, and the space complexity is often because we don't use any array, so we just have two variables T1 and T2. Okay, I hope this made sense. Thank you for following in this one, and see you in the next one.